Today we are going to solve the world's hardest Sudoku game, and we are also going to create one, but the digital version. Now, if you don't know what Sudoku is, well, it's a Japanese game, JAV, that people play for fun. Rules are really simple.
Imagine having a 9 by 9 grid. This big 9 by 9 grid have 81 individual boxes, and your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to fill every single empty cells with number from 1 to 9. Easy, right? Let's introduce some rules. First of all, you cannot have repeating number in any rows or column. That means no duplicates numbers vertically or horizontally. But you still think it's easy, right? This 9 by 9 mega grid is divided into a small 3 by 3 grids. I call it circuit. Now you cannot have repeating numbers here either. Now we are talking. Suddenly it's not just filling up squares. Now you have to carefully plan, decide, and do some magic. Now before I show you the world's hardest Sudoku, let's create this 9 by 9 grid in our game, the digital version. And to do that, I'm gonna use Godot or Godot. I still don't know how to pronounce it. Anyways, if you don't know what Godot is, you can watch my old videos.
I just realized there are 81 boxes or input fields that I need to create, which is a lot. I don't think I want to suffer that much. I guess this video ends here, unless there is something I can do.
I found this GitHub repo. It's a really good base to start with because I think it has all the logic to create the Sudoku game, but I think it doesn't have other features like undo, hints and all that. So I think we have to create that, which will be challenging. I think we should just fork it. Let's just add Sudoku. Anyways, let's open it. Okay, so this is a game scene. Let's play the game. First of all, we have to change the grade. We have to create the 3 into 3 cells because this just adds extra level of difficulty. Okay, so if I enter a wrong answer, it becomes red. So if I keep adding wrong somewhere, there has to be a 1. Okay, so the correct answer becomes green. So yeah, color formatting is there, but there is no like 4 mistake is equal to game over. We have to add that. Let's check the script. Nice work with the naming. Okay, this creates the button. This variable tracks off the answer for the selected button in scene. To make it easy for beginner, we could provide a hint to show whether their answer is correct or not. Okay, so there is hint thing built in, generates the grade. Okay, so this is something that I don't really want to play with. I hate loop as it is. Now we have to lock this thing. How can I lock the function back? Start with an empty solution grid where all the cells have 0 entries. But how does it create an empty cell? How does it create empty cell? Has a unique solution, checks whether if a puzzle leads to one or more solutions. We ignore the grid where it leads to one. Okay, nice. This takes the grid puzzle and tries to solve it recursively. Okay, this looks like something that shouldn't be in the game, but I think this is something that makes sure the grid have a unique solution. I'm not sure though. Holds the button present in the game scene. Holds the answer to the puzzle. Nice. Select button, answer 0. I think this makes sure you can only select empty cells. Let me check if we can change the... Okay, so we can change filled in cells. Okay, I think I understand most part of the script, but I'm still confused. So I don't really know what should I add first. I think let's change the grid color. When we create the grid, we should be able to change button model is equal to color 1,1,1, and if we run it, it doesn't do anything. Okay, so it did change the color, but it is also changing the text color, which I don't really think is a bad thing. But how are we changing color when we enter answer? I saw red somewhere. Red, dark red. We are changing color by style box, so we can change the background color. Okay, I get it. So we can maybe copy this here, and instead of button we're gonna use button. Let's comment out these 2 parts. Yes, it did change, but it made the button look weird. Why is that? Oh, we commented out the main thing. Let's not do that. Okay, so we can change the background color using this. This will be our first upgrade. It's time to solve the world's hardest Sudoku game and save the world. Sorry, I just like to imagine that I'm saving the world when playing games or coding. My bad. You can also play with me, by the way. The way I like to solve it, I like to check rows and column. So 2 is here, that means 2 cannot be in this. 2 is here, that means 2 cannot be in this row. That means 2 has to be in these 2. 1 can't be here, 1 can't be here. That means 1 will be in these 3. I'm not gonna take notes for 3 possibilities. Sorry, I don't really like that. 8. Wait a minute. 8 can't be here, 8 can't be here. That means 8 needs to be here or here. 8 can't be here, 8 can't be here, 8 can't be here. That means 8 is here. Okay, 9 can't be here. Now we got 1 9. So 9 can't be here. That means 9 has to be in these 2 ones. But there is 1 9 here. That means 9 can't be here. That means 9 has to go here. And we can just put this without notes. 9. Now 9 can't be here. 9 can't be here. That means 9 has to be in these 2 ones. But there is a 9 here. That means 9 goes here. Now 9 can't be here. 9 can't be here. That means 9 will be in these 2. Now this also helps us because 2 can't be here. 2 can't be here. That means 2 has to be here. And 9 can't be here, 9 can't be here. That means 9 has to be here. So technically these 2 cells are solved. 5 can't be here, 5 can't be here, 5 can't be here. That means 5 is here and 8 is here. Oh my god, there's no 4. There's only one 4, which means I'm not even gonna try to solve 4. Now there are 2 possibilities here. So 3 can't be here because of this. 3 can't be here because of this. That means 3 has to be here or here. But I don't like taking these like diagonal notes also. But you know what? 3 goes here and 3 goes here. Just because this will look like I'm doing something when fast forwarding the video. Now we are at a difficult position.
So one of the biggest problem in our game is that we can't see anything. Let's change the yellow to something that we can see. If we go version 2, style box, background color, settings, cell rang, what? There should be yellow, green or something like that, no? Why is this settings so? Oh, if we go inside settings script, there is a constant value that we can change. For example, dark purple, Rebecca purple, what the hell is that? Anyway, if we change it inside the settings, it dynamically changes the setting inside the game script. Wow, that's really clever. I mean, not really. Anyways, one of the biggest thing with our game is that we can change these pre-filled cells. So like 7, 8, 9, we can change it. So we have to add something that stops the user from changing these pre-filled cells. So let's go inside the game script and I'm just gonna search buttons. Bind create button. Create button. No. We just need to find the button that allows the user to change the value. So if I want to enter 2 here, so what allows me to enter a value here? We need to like find that button or that logic. Grade selected text is equal to number pressed. Okay, this looks promising. So on selected grid button, if selected button is not something, game grid is the current state of the game. So the game grid have the value 2, 3, 5, 9 inside it. What we really want to achieve is if selected button is not empty. Okay, that means selected button doesn't have a value, is not empty. Then we want a button dot disable. I'm sorry, we cannot call selected button inside a selected button. It just will create a paradox. Let me comment out these things. Control K. Should I work on this if, or I should create something new? You know what, I'm gonna work on something new. I'm taking a big risk here, but if selected button is empty, selected button, grid selected button. I think we need grid selected button, not selected button. So if we come here, if we remove this, and if we come here, put it here. If grid selected button is not empty, we're gonna disable the button. But which button are we gonna disable? So we need to find that number button. Selected grid button is like this one, and this is like the 1 2 3 4 5 6, you know, these 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So I think this is the correct one. So we can just call this guy here, and we already have button dot disable. Maybe we need dot text, because text is the thing that we are tracking. Let's save it, let's run it, and if we try and enter something here, we can enter something here. No, we cannot enter something here. Like 9, if I try to enter 3 here, we cannot. Oh, we cannot enter anything anywhere.
I think we just disabled the button. I think we can add like else here, else, copy this whole thing, and instead of true we're gonna go false. Let me first of all fix the else syntax. Let's make it true and let's make it false, and let's save it and let's relaunch the game. So can we enter something here? No, we cannot. Can we enter something here? It like disabled the button, like, but better. Like before that, before like this else thing, if we comment out this else thing, save it, relaunch the game, it disables it. Okay, my bad. Oh, I added true, that's why it's now working better. I think we also need to add puzzle grid. Puzzle grid is the grid that have like a current state of all the correct answers. So like this 4 is correct answer, that means in puzzle grid this 4 will be 1. And if I enter a wrong answer here, I cannot answer a wrong answer here, but let's suppose there is a wrong answer here, that means the puzzle grid will have the value 0 for here because it's not the correct answer. So here we still need the help of rows and columns. So I think we can use this instead of rows and column. Yeah, this is also like rows and column but in more descriptive way. If we run it, I explained it like I did something, but we need this thing, right? Okay, this basically enters the number press string inside the grid selected button. So I think this should fix it. Yes, it did. Basically this string, this pressed number is now the number that I press. It just turns it into a string and then puts that value inside the selected grid button. But does it disable? Please disable, please disable. Yes, it disables it, but it does let me enter the first time. Wait a minute, let me check again. Does it let me to enter? So if I have 5 here, the button is still enabled, and if I enter 6, okay, the button get disabled, but the first time I can still press the button. It doesn't let me enter the value, but I can still press the button, which can cause bugs. So I may need to like fix it, but we have the logic ready, I think. Okay, so I found the solution. Let me show you. If I click on this 7, it should disable the button. Boom. And you know what? If I press this empty cell, see what happens. Boom, it enables it back. So the problem was that I was adding this if else inside this selected grid button press. Selected grid button press is the function that handles this part of the code. So when I press button here, this thing is taken care by this, but this grid button is this part of the game, and we need to check empty cells in this part, not this part. So if I go back, so this is the place I left you guys. This is the problem that we had, that we can enter values one time and the button also doesn't get re-enabled or like enabled. Sorry, no, re-enabled makes sense, I think. So all I did was I removed all of these from here, and if we go just a few line up, and here we can just paste it and fix the syntax. I don't think we need this because that will be taken care here. We can uncomment all of these. Okay, we need to comment this one out. Sorry, control K. Okay, let's save it. And do we have to make any changes here? No, we do not. So let's reload the game. Now the button gets disabled itself, and it gets enabled, it gets disabled. This whole row is solved in this subgrid, in this subgrid. That means there are 3 possibilities in these ones. And if we enter those 3 possibilities here, which means there are 2 possibilities in these 2 ones. 3 has to be in these 2. Why? Because we need 1 3 in this row and 3 can't be in this one. That means 3 has to be here. What about 2 can't be here? That means 2 has to be in these ones. 4 can be in any of these, which means 1 can be here or here, and 6 can be here or here. 5 can't be here, 5 can't be here, that means 5 will go here. So 5 can't be here, 5 can't be here, and we already know these 2 are like
fixed, so 5 goes here. 5 can't be here, 5 can't be here, 5 can't be here, that means 5 is here. I think 5 is almost solved, so 5 can't be here, 5 can't be here, that means 5 has to be here. We reached dead end. I call this dead end. I'm pretty sure there is some formula algorithm that people can use to solve it, but whenever there is like 4 cells with similar number and it makes a square, it is a dead end, because the possibility of this and this and this and this semi-random, like there is no way to know, there is no way that I know to know, if that makes sense. What am I even talking about? Now it's time to add the gap between cells, because as I said, this game is difficult as it is, can't make it extra difficult. My idea is not to add lines, I'm gonna add the gap, and to add that gap I'm gonna use margin container. So we are gonna basically create a margin container, set the value of that margin container something like 5 pixels and put it between these buttons. And I think we can do it when we are creating these buttons or cells. So when we are changing the color of these buttons, we should be able to add the code, because we are changing the color when we are creating the button. Let's create a margin container and theme override container margin. Okay, so we have to use these things: margin left, margin right. So first of all, let's import it. I think we also need one more variable that will be the size of the gap or the margin. And we can start coding. If row is divisible by 3, then we should add the margin container dot theme override. Why am I not getting the option? Now we need to add theme override container, and let's add margin bottom. Let's run it. It did nothing. I think we have to append it as a child, or we need to add it as a child to something. But to what? Let's add it to the button. Yes, something happened. I don't know what happened, but something happened. Let's change the margin size to something small. Let's keep it 6 pixel. You know what? Let's try with the column. I don't think the if is the problem. I think adding it as a child is the problem. You know what? Let's remove the note and let's create it inside the script. Margin box is equal to margin container dot new. I know it will do nothing, but it will help me with the mind mapping. Now let's run it. Maybe I'm doing it in the wrong order. I should add it as a child to the margin box and then add it as a child to grid. Yes, I knew it. I was doing something wrong with the child, but I couldn't visualize it. So let's decrease the size and enable the row. Let's organize the code. Now let's just fix this problem. I think I'm using the bottom margin, that's the problem. So let's just use the top. That's it. Now I think the game has become like 10 times easier. Okay, so 1 can't be here, that means 1 goes in these 2. Again, I don't like taking these diagonal notes, but it will look good on time lapse. 7 goes here or here. And you know what that means? We can find out which number goes in these 2. We have 1, 2, 3. We don't have 4. So 4 goes here, 4 goes here, 5, 6. 6 goes here, 6 goes here. So technically this subgrid is solved. This subgrid is solved. I don't know how I can use technically solved grids, but it just makes me feel good. Can I be honest with you guys? I think these random nodes they are distracting me at this point. We need to add the live system to our game, because currently there is no limit to how many attempts the user can do, which means the user can just brute force it. So we need to add the live system where if the user reaches certain limit, he is dead. So first of all, let's create a variable lives. For now, let's just keep it 3. Now we have a function that basically sets the cell color to red when a user enters wrong value. So we can just add one extra line that will decrease value from our lives variable. Here we are setting the value to red, lives minus, and this will basically decrease value by 1. Now let's create a function. This function will basically show the game over scene, but currently I don't want to make game over scene, so I'm going to use the reload function, which Godot type pre-built. Get tree dot reload current scene.
And I'm going to create a button. This button is going to be our hint button. I'm not going to work on it right now. Let's add labels. This will basically be the UI of our life. Should I add lives or should I just use number? I think number is easier, so let's just use a number. Now let's import it. We can add a function to update that label string. So life, let's go to label text string, and we're gonna use the updated lives value. I hope it works. If we enter wrong values 1 2 3 4 and 5, and it reloads the scene. Now we have to work on the visual, so let's just update the functions to life update, and from the init game we're gonna remove it and we're gonna put it inside process. Basically process function updates every single second, that's why we need to put it there. I don't know how to explain this, but I think I should solve the subgrid with least amount of number, because then I have all of these numbers to like support it. Most importantly, these like nodes will not be distracting. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. I knew it. So 9 can't be in this one. 9 can't be in this one. That means 9 has to be here, which means 9 can't be here. That means 9 is here, which means 2 is here. Is this new information gonna help us? Yes, it is. So 2 can't be here. That means 2 has to be here or here, which means 2 can't be here, 2 can't be here, 2 can't be here. That means 2 is here or here. So it did help us, but with nodes. And nodes are like distracting me actually, if I'm being honest. 4. Yes. I wasn't scared at all. Now 9 goes here. That means 9 goes here. And we have solved a 9. 5 can't be here, 5 can't be here. That means 5 is here. How long I had this hint for? Let me verify again. 5 can't be here. Yep, 5 is here. Wait a minute, there is only one possibility of 5 and we have solved 5.
This is a simple piece of code, but honestly, I'm so proud of it. It's dumb, like really dumb, but when I was building it, oh man, it gave me headache. Because here is the thing, we are dealing with 2D arrays, and I hate 2D arrays. They are good for storing data and fetching data, so, but building a game out of it, nah man, that's too much. Anyways, what is this function I'm talking about?
It basically highlights a specific rows and column and subgrid of a Sudoku board, which is good old 2D array. So when the user clicks on a cell, we grab its position, which rows and column it's in, and we save that into variables rows and column. Using these two values, we can highlight all the cells in that rows and column. Easy stuff. But now we also need to highlight the subgrid, and here is where things get spicy. So how do we do that? Well, the board has 9 subgrids, and to find out which one the selected cell belongs to, we do this cute little method where we divide the selected row and column by 3, because there are 3 subgrid across the rows and column of the board. Now we got the index of the subgrid, but now we need to find top left corner of the subgrid. Why? So we can just add a 3 to rows and column, and that will give us the bottom right cell of the grid, and we will also be able to loop through all the cells inside the subgrid by adding ones in rows and columns. Now how do we find the top left column? We do it by multiplying the subgrid index by 3, and that will give us the exact position of the top left cell of the grid. Now we have got a starting row and a starting column of the subgrid, but we will not add a 3 right away. We save that for inside the loop. That way we can loop through whole subgrid. Now what is inside the loop? Inside the loop we just throw in if statement that checks every single cell. If the cell have same row index as the selected cell row index, we highlight it. If the selected cell column index matches our selected cell's column index, we highlight that, and we already have the subgrid trick ready. Now to highlight, we just apply modulus, which is just a fancy way to say applying visual effects. And there you have it, guys. I know you may be thinking, bro, it sounds so obvious, and you are right. Hear me out, okay? I think this makes 100% sense. So possibilities of 1 being here is high in this row, okay? Just think about this row. Possibility of 1 being here is also there, but just think about this row. So possibility of 1 being here is high because there are 3 possibilities of 1 being here. That means possibility of 1 being here is low. That means 4 goes here and 7 goes here, or 7 goes here and 4 goes here. No, 4 can't go here. Wait a minute. It changes everything. 4 can't go here. That means, you know what? That doesn't mean anything. I'm gonna put 4 here. Yes. Always believe your gut. Always believe your gut. Man, oh man, oh man. Now again we are stuck. So this is where our game is at right now. So one of the things that I have worked on is hint system, where the user can press a button and it will give a hint. But the screen recording of me making this system got corrupted. I think the audio got corrupted or video got corrupted, I don't even remember. So I'm just gonna come here and explain it. First of all, this is like external class, so when I need hint system anywhere, I can just call hint system and it will work. Let's start. First of all, I have a constant of max hint. It puts a cap on how many hints a user can have. Right now it's 5. If I restart the game, you can see 5 hints. Then I also have a hint counter. Hint counter. It starts from 0 and every hint the user uses, it goes 1 2 3 4 5, and when it reaches 5, that means the user doesn't have any hint left. Don't worry about a hint constant. And this hint color, basically when a user uses hint, when a player uses hint, the cell color is yellow or like dark golden, and the user cannot change this color. This will like motivate the user to use less hints, because this is like bonding. Now there are 3 kinds of hint. The first hint is random. It will fill in any random cell. There is also hardest cell. It finds the hardest cell on the grid and it puts it there. And don't worry about the strategical. The main thing is hint generator. So this basically generates the hint. How it generates the hint? First of all, we have hint counter and maximum hint. Maximum hint, as I said, how many hints a user is allowed. So 5 is the number that we are using right now. And hint counter, so if the hint counter reaches from 0 to 5, that means he doesn't have any hint left, and this generate hint function will return null, which means it will not run at all. It is like a verification thing. Second thing is empty cell. Empty cell is all those cells where a hint can be placed. Okay, so like this, these are like cells where a hint can be placed. And we find this empty cell using, I think, puzzle. Puzzle is all those cells where a number can be inserted, where a value can be placed. For example, if I enter 2 here, 2 is the wrong answer, but there is a number that can be placed here. And in this 2D array, every single cell where the user can enter any value is set as 0. That means this cell have the value 1, this cell have the value 1, this cell have the value 1, but this cell will have the value 0. So we find every single cell that have the value 0 and we append it to our empty cell variable. It's a variable, right? Yeah, it's a variable. So we are basically turning a 2D array into a single variable. And if there is no empty cell, that means grade is already solved. So again, this function will not run. Let's get to the spicy part. So let's first of all find this. To get the correct answers for the cells where we are gonna place those values, we use solved grade. Solved grade is the grade that have the value of every single cell. Okay, it is the grade that we use to verify if we are entering wrong answer or not by comparing new value to the our solved grade. So solved grade have solution inside it, as the name suggests, obviously. Now we have puzzles that have all those cells where we can enter the value. We select one single empty cell from the puzzle cell, and then in that empty cell we place the value from selected grid 2D array, and that's it. We also have some other things. So first of all, this function basically finds the empty cell. This function basically, as I said, we have 3 modes. First of all, we have a random mode, so it basically selects one random cell to place the value from the puzzle 2D grid. Then we have hardest cell, and then we have a strategical. For the hardest one, I have a logic that I'm working on, but it's off topic, so let's not go there. Lastly, we have the function to reset everything, basically reset the whole system. We have a function that changes the hint button status, and then we have a function where we pick hint strategy. Basically, in the settings page, the user selects what kind of hint he wants, and that value will be set here, and we will use the system accordingly. I think that just covers everything. Now in the main game, we go hint system. So when the user presses the hint button, it generates a hint using the puzzle grid and the solve grid. We are sending the puzzle grid to our function. Using the puzzle grid, the function finds one empty cell where it's gonna place the value, and it places that value using the solve grid. And we also have the hint effect, basically the color, so the orange color and stuff like that. Okay, let's talk. I kicked off this project back in March, and now it's almost September. So what in the world happened? The truth is, this series is a bit different. I'm not just showing you the finished product, you are watching me build it. I like doing it this way because it helps me with the learning process, but it also leaves me with tons of footages. In this case, over 100 gigabytes. Also, a lot of it was actually corrupt and some had no audio. You know, power cuts in India. The good news, the app itself was actually finished in April and it's done. It works. I'm incredibly proud of it. I even uploaded it on Play Store. I can't wait to show you guys the finished product and everything I have learned. So let's solve this Sudoku ASAP. I think I almost solved 7, or did I? Maybe 4. Yeah, 4. New 4 entry here. We know that 4 can't be here, 4 can't be here. That means 4 goes here. That means 2 goes here. 7 goes here, which means 1 goes here, which means 1 goes here. We know 168 is here. That means there is only one possibility, which is 7. Means 1 comes here, 1 goes here. Yeah, and now we have 1 as a dead end. 7 can't be here. That means 7 goes here or here. 2 can't be here. That also means goes here or here. 7 and 2 can't be here. That means 6 is the only number that can go there. 6 is the only number that can go there. 6 is the only number that can go there. There is only one possibility of this, so there is only possibility of 6 being here. Yeah, that means 6 can only go here. 6 can only go here. That also means 6 can only go here. That also means 4 can go here. 7 can't be here, so 7 goes here. That means 8 goes here. 8 can't go here. That means 8 goes here. That means 1 goes here. 1 can't be here. 1 can't be here. 1 can't be here. That means 1 goes here. 8 can't be here. 8 can't be here. 8 can't be here. That means 8 goes here. And there is only one possibility of 8, and 8 goes there. Let's try and solve 7, I guess. 7 can't be here. That means 7 goes here. That means 7 goes here. That means 7 goes here. Now let's try and solve 4. It's like I turned on hacker mode, but believe me guys, this is how Sudoku works. In the end, like everything just fits perfectly if you take proper notes. 4 can go only here because 4 can only go here because 4. Now there is only 2 left, so every single place 2 goes. 2. This is like really satisfying, man. And we have solved it. It only took us 72. It actually took more than 72 minutes. We solved it without any hints or without any mistakes. It's time to finally show you the finished product. Let's first start the game. There are so many features I have added that I even don't know where to start. The one that I really wanted to show you guys was note mode. It is the most complex feature, the most line of code I have added to this game. But sadly, as I said, it's the most complex, so there are lots of recordings that I can't put together. Okay, this note mode is the main reason why this video delayed this much. So I can't wait to show you guys the note mode. But before I show you the note mode, let's first of all check the UI. I have worked on UI a lot. The first UI is obviously the game is now a vertical game because I'm gonna use a smartphone to play the game, but I'm using canvas layer, which means the app is like really resizable. With some tweaking, this can be turned into PC game. So first of all, we have this margin container that contains the back button, the life system, and the reload button. Simple. Then we have this another margin container with this hint and note button, and finally we have number pad. Now these 2 buttons are the most simple button in the game, and like the back button just launches another scene and the reload button just reloads the current scene. Now what is this main menu? Well, I have also made a main menu for the game. The main menu also have a music. For the sake of recording, I'm gonna keep it disabled, but there is a music that loads. This music doesn't go inside the game because in these kind of games music can get distracting. So the main menu just have this background, then this text or logo, whatever you want to call it, and then finally we have buttons. They are arranged horizontally, vertically using V box container, H box container, horizontal box container, vertical box container, and all of these buttons are linked to just one script. And what this one script does is it changes the difficulty value in the settings script. Setting script is the auto load, single load, or like global script. So if difficulty is set to 3, that means decent amount of cell will be pre-filled. But if the difficulty is set to 5, that means less number of cell will have pre-filled values. So if I open simple, there are like decent amount of pre-filled cells. But if I open master, you can see there are a lot of empty cells. Now there is also about section. I haven't designed it, so we are not going to talk about it. So let's run a simple version because there is something I want to show you guys. So you guys can see this 5 is disabled. Why is this 5 disabled? Well, the 5 is disabled because all the possibilities of 5 is already filled in. If you put all the possibilities of certain number, that number will get disabled in number pad. This is again one of the feature I'm really proud of, because for this number pad now I had to change the puzzle grid logic, which was one of the most simple grid actually, and I made it complicated. Now we have so many grids. We have game grid, puzzle grid, then grid for note taking, there are grid for references. Like there are so many grids that even minor changes are difficult to add. I have already explained the hint, I have already explained the live system, I have also explained highlight thing. It basically highlights the subgrid as well as column and rows. But one thing that I haven't explained is it also highlights similar numbers. So if I have 3 selected, that means all the 3s in the subgrid will be highlighted, and with this simple help you can see that 3 can't be here, that means 3 goes here. And there is also a win screen. So if we go inside, this is like a simple win screen that comes when the user completes the game. For win screen I also want to add like a small GIF or like card of solved grid and also how much time it took and stuff like that. There is no time system at all, so that is something that you guys can help me add. This thing is gonna be open source, so you guys can add features too. Anyways, now it's time to show you the note mode. When the note mode is on, user can enter values and these values will not be committed. That means the life will not be reduced, and the user can also enter like multiple numbers. And I also tried to format it so 1 should be on top left and 9 should be on bottom right, but I haven't fixed it. So 1 only goes on top left when user have entered all the other numbers. If you remove all of these numbers and if you only enter 1, then the 1 will be in the middle. There is no like fixed position for these numbers for now. I will add it in future, but you need to understand that for note mode the grid is really complicated, because note mode grid is really big. It is not only limited to 81 cells, because each cell also have 9 cells. So 81 multiplied by 9, which means there are more than 700 cells for note mode, and that is why it's the most complicated thing that I have added. It's not the most visually appealing thing. Okay, that award goes to highlight system. You know, I'm also proud of my highlight system that I have built. I have also created like theme for buttons, theme for number pad. I have also added music, I've also added icons, I've also designed the logo of the app, and there is also font that I have added. Like there are a lot of things that I have done, and you guys should definitely go and explore yourself and find all the mistakes and stuff. Make as many contribution as possible, because there are so many things that we can add here, like lose a screen, about a screen. We can also make users sign in, keep track of their scores, make it multiplayer, meaning one player will compete against other, that who completes it first. And we can also add timer. I don't really like the idea of timer because I want this game to be chill game, not something that creates pressure, but it is an idea that we can work on. We also can add like icons for these numbers, and you know, there are different kind of hints. We can also make that functional, and we can also get like another level where the user doesn't get all these highlights and hints, note, or any of this button disabling thing. None of that. Just clean grid that he needs to solve. There are so many things that we can add. I don't know if I should do the outro right now, or you know what, let's do it now. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, share and all that. And also, if you are new to the Godot, then you guys can watch my first video where I was also new to the Godot. That video is the first time I actually installed Godot.